BBC Radio Leicester.
Ben Jackson with you through until midday today. Now, it is also important to make the point, isn't it, that life goes on. And in fact, I was reading something overnight that said, look, try not to focus on what we can't do anymore, but on what we can do. Well, so we thought we'd start this morning with a man who I frankly think is a kind of an uplifting kind of a guy. He's a man who decided, he didn't fancy retirement, so he decided to go on an adventure. Simon Wardy Ward was always effectively scared of the R word, so in 2018 he grabbed his bike by the handles and embarked on an adventure around the world. And boy, what an adventure. His aim? To learn lots of new skills, to keep the grey matter going, and to inspire as many young people as possible. Simon, morning.
Morning. How are you?
You shouldn't even be here.
Yes, it's been rather strange. I should have been still in Peru, but online changes to accessing my bank account meant I had to come back early.
Hang on a minute. You float over that. You had to come back early because the way your bank needed you to access your money changed.
Yeah. But now it's a verification code sent to the phone. That was gone. That was taken from me in a gunpoint robbery in Rosario, Argentina. And
you're not going to. What happened? What?
Well, I was riding down the road. I'd stayed with a warm showers host in Rosario for 4 nights, and I was leaving to set off to go to a volunteer work placement 5 days ride away. And I was riding down the road early one Sunday morning. Which was a mistake in hindsight. No traffic, no pedestrians, nothing. And a guy wandered out into the road in front of me. My first thought was, he's going to try and sell me something that I don't need and don't want. It's normally toothpaste or socks. And then I thought, oh, hey, he's trying to sell me a gun. And he was waving it around in my face and demanding the bike. And I kept my bike.
How?
I fought him.
You fought?
Yeah, a guy with a gun. I just hoped that he wouldn't have the guts to pull the trigger. That was if it was real. I have no idea. But I wasn't giving up my bike. It's got everything I own on it. And so
what did you do? Run away?
He ripped the handlebar bag off my bike. I'd thrown punches at him, couldn't quite connect, unfortunately. And the handlebar bag came off in his hands, and I think he thought, I'll leave with this because this guy's not going to give up. And he ran away. I chased him, but unfortunately my bike is not built for speed. And by the time I was starting to catch him, I suddenly realised I was in an area that maybe I shouldn't be, and it was I was going to possibly lose everything else. So I had to leave him with the handlebar bag, with my phone, my passport, my debit and credit cards, my wallet.
How did you cancel all of that then?
I got on the phone. I went back to my host's apartment. Fortunately, I was able to. They let me in and they helped me out. And
just before we go on, what's a warm showers host?
Warm showers is the cycling equivalent of couch surfing.
Right.
So you meet people online and they agree to host you, and the idea is you can swap stories and advice about where to go, where not to go. It's a great community, and I've met some fabulous people throughout South America.
And what was the other thing you lost? You lost the other thing in a flash flood.
Yeah, I was in the process of trying to cross from Argentina to Chile. And it was New Year's Eve, and I was
just gone.
Yeah, New Year's Eve just gone. I was at about 11,000 feet up in the Andes, and it started hailing, and the hailstones were as big as ping pong balls. So I hid under a culvert under the road, and then suddenly it turned to rain, and it must have been raining hard higher up in the mountain, and a flash flood. Nearly washed me away, nearly washed my bike away, and took a lot of things, all my food, my stove, and tent. I managed to recover some of the stuff, but it meant I had to go back to the Argentinian border, which I'd left earlier that day, and they then fined me for overstaying. my visa.
Kidding.
Which was partly due to the fact that my replacement passport was stuck in customs in Argentina for a total of 9 weeks. Hardly surprising that I overstayed. So all good fun.
No, well, hang on a minute. All of that would make anybody else say, well, you know what? To hell with this for a game of soldiers. I'm coming home. But you don't want to do that. I mean, you really don't.
No.
You're only home. I mean, you're home by accident.
Yes. And the idea, my original plan was to cycle around Europe for a couple of years before heading east. But Brexit has scuppered that idea. So I thought, well, I have a qualification to teach English as a foreign language, and I was going to settle in Spain for a while, establish residency, which would give me greater freedom of movement around Europe, before then, at some point in the future, heading east and revisiting Laos in Southeast Asia, amongst others, where I lived for 11 years.
What did you do as a job then before you retired?
I was a golf pro.
Really?
Yeah, I was the pro at Cold Ashby in Northamptonshire, just across the border, for 8 years. Oadby Municipal, when it existed, for 8 years, and almost 3 years at Glengorse.
So this wanderlust, where did that? Has that always been there?
Yeah, I've always liked travel, and I knew many, many years ago that I would not retire as a golf pro and then join the club and play in the monthly medal. Not that I have anything against that, but I just wanted to do something that tests me, and it does. I love languages. I try and pick them up as best I can.
Do you still play golf?
No, a bad elbow injury stopped me playing 6 years ago, so I haven't played in 6 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you miss it?
No, not at all. I've got something that's so different. Cycling with a fully loaded bike is hard work.
Yeah.
I lost 13 kilos of weight. And the great thing is I can eat and drink as much as I like and whatever I like. Chocolate, beer, everything is all on the menu.
Because you work it all off?
Yeah, I struggle at times to take on enough calories.
So the bike is trapped in Spain at the moment.
Yep.
What's the plan, short term? I mean, is it just a... who knows, I guess?
Who knows? I don't know. I may have to try and look for honest labour. So if there's anybody out there wants a crazy retired ex-golf pro who's got a job that they can...
Who can fight off armed bandits.
Yes, I'm good at that. And flash floods.
Then Simon's your man.
Yeah, I'm here and ready to go. I need to do something because inactivity drives me mad.
I was going to say settling, and I mean the thought of self-isolating must be just. I mean, your face falls at the very thought.
Yeah, particularly as someone, I've never had a common cold. I've never had the flu. I don't understand what sickness is all about. The occasional attack of deli belly if I eat something that doesn't agree with me, but that never lasts more than 24 hours. I normally got an iron constitution, so I'm sure I'm going to be okay, but I worry about family and friends, obviously.
And passing it on is the big thing.
Yes, of course. Self-isolation, I should go mad. Although my friend in Northampton who I stay with, he's got a set of drums in his flat, so maybe I'll become a drummer, I don't know. Keith Moon was a great hero of mine many years ago.
I just love it. What's the driver for you? Is it just to just not stop?
Yeah, I've got to do something. Inactivity drives me mad. So I've had a few times where I've had to stop, but it doesn't last for very long. I've taken on several volunteer projects work-wise, and I just want to learn new skills. So I've gone from being a total numpty as far as a handyman is concerned, that I now make things, and I enjoy standing back and say, "Hey,
I made that.
I made that," and it's wonderful.
I get that.
It's great, yeah. And if people have the tools, I can make stuff.
And you're being absolutely serious. If somebody's got a need, you'll come and do it. You know.
Well, yeah, as best I can.
Yeah,
and of course, we live in an age where if I don't know how to do something, YouTube's a great source of learning. Although not for everything, not for everything.
You know, it's an absolute pleasure to meet you. It really is. Thank you so much for coming in.
My pleasure.
Will you keep in touch? Let's see how things play out, and,
sure.
Maybe we'll get in touch with you.
Yeah. Well, I have a blog that people can follow if they'd like to.
Yeah.
Nomadonanomad.com.
Nomad on a Nomad, because that's the name of the bike.
My bike is called a Nomad by the Thorn Company. So I'm Nomad on a Nomad. Also known in South America as Abuelo Loco, which translates as Crazy Grandpa. And I've been in the press in Gualeguaychú in Argentina. I was in the paper. I was interviewed for a TV program in Zárate in Argentina, although I don't know whether it ever went out. And now here, so you can't have a lot to talk about.
You're a media pro. Oh, yeah, because we've got nothing to talk about today.
Yeah, sure.
Simon, it's lovely to talk to you. It really is. Can we keep in touch and see how things affect you, actually, as somebody that doesn't want to stand still? You've got some nifty negotiations to do, I think.
Difficult times. Yeah.
All right, thanks for coming in and joining us. So if you want to catch up with Simon, it's Nomad on a Nomad is where you'll find his blog.
.com.